back to the BrandProof Podcast, interview number 5. We've got a really cool interview today. Someone that I have personally known for, oh my gosh, like maybe 10 years or so. Time is flying by, Lindsay. Let me tell you something.
I mean, really, you blink and you're at another decade.
And I think you will appreciate this podcast, Lindsay, because you're a very hands-on kind of person with clients and stuff.
Yes.
And she's very hands-on with what she has to do in her everyday job too, as well.
Yes.
So I think you'll
very well respected amongst the marketing industry.
Which
so
I can't
I'm really
say about
excited to get to
myself,
know
but
her.
you guys, For you guys,
And I love the outdoors. Just a little sneak peek.
So if you would, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And we will be sure to read anything you got. So with that, I would like to introduce Ashley Andrews with Saunders Yachtworks in Gulf Shores. Welcome to the BrandProof Podcast, Ashley.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you for being here.
We're so glad you could actually be here, and I've known you for a while, and I'm glad you could actually be here because I love you and Saunders, and I've been with you for a while.
I know. It's been a long time. I was thinking when you were saying that, it has at least been 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the very beginning.
That you've been at Saunders or that you've known Ryan?
Well, that I've known Ryan. I've been at Saunders for almost 14.
Wow.
Yeah, a long time.
Okay, well, I want to dive into that, but tell us a little bit, like the boilerplate of Ashley in your career.
Sure. Well, somehow, not somehow. My dad is an outdoor writer. He worked for the newspapers for a long time. And I am guessing that I was destined to be in the outdoors.
That's how I know your maiden name. Okay, because I did freelance outdoor writing for a while. So, got it now.
So I think I was, and I didn't even, not on purpose, but it just sort of ended up that way.
Yeah.
But I went to the University of Alabama, graduated with a communications degree. And Roll Tide.
I'll give you a thumbs up today.
Roll Tide. But while I was there, I interned with ESPN Outdoors, who had just bought the Bass Angler Sportsman Society Bass, BASS, in Montgomery. And so I kind of got my feet wet in the outdoors marketing world, mostly communications. They had several publications that they produced. And so after college, I actually had met the owner of a small communications agency out in Phoenix while I was working for ESPN Outdoors, and ended up going to work for him in Phoenix.
Your first job was with ESPN Outdoors?
Well, that was my internship.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was pretty...
Was it fun?
It was
this is like my dream. This is amazing.
It was fun. It was, it was the PR side, but they handled all of the bass fishing tournament circuit. So it was going to the bass fishing tournaments and talking to the anglers and dealing with the bass magazines, and it was really cool. It was only a few months, but it was really a great beginning to my career. But that led me to Phoenix, which was a huge move, basically jumping off into the deep end of life. And this agency was very small. There were only 5 of us that worked there, but we had huge national clients. Toyota Motor Sales was one. And then Yamaha Marine was another big one. So I continued this work in the outdoors industry for several years in Phoenix. And then I got kind of tired of the Browns. And, the desert's beautiful. And the traveling out there was great. But I really missed home. And I missed my family. And I love the water. And there's not a whole lot of water in Phoenix if we haven't been out there. So
it is beautiful. And the food is really good, isn't it?
Man.
Oh, man.
I'm hungry. We didn't eat lunch yet, Ryan.
Well, it's funny because I learned how to drink unsweet tea. My family still makes fun of me because you can't get sweet tea in Phoenix.
That's what I hear.
Right.
You can get like raspberry hibiscus tea
or
something very
cactus tea
special sounding. But So, so I got a job at a local private school and came home. I was the communications director there and spent about a year there. And then I just kind of had a moment where I wasn't sure if this was, the industry for me. So I needed a job and I got hired on as a server at the Grand Hotel. So outside of my professional, purview at that point.
And if you haven't been to the Grand Hotel in Point Clear, Alabama, it is gorgeous.
Yeah, if you're going to be a server anywhere, I would suggest that place. I mean, your environment is gorgeous. Oh yeah, I mean it's beautiful.
Yeah. Isn't it a part of the Autograph collection by Marriott? I mean, it's top of the line.
It is top of the line. Top of the line. So I bounced around inside the Grand Hotel in event operations, then back to the lounge as the manager. And I actually had a friend who was a carpenter at Saunders Yachtworks, and he let me know that they were looking for a marketing administrator at the time. They had never had anybody in-house do marketing. And so I got the job there, and I have just been sitting there ever since.
So what size companies, for the viewers that don't know Saunders Yachtworks, would you say Saunders was when they decided, okay, we need a full-time in-house marketing person, just out of curiosity?
We were still a small business. We have really not grown as far as we've grown slowly with employees, but the work that we do is so highly specialized that it's hard to get people who know how to do that kind of work. So we've had aspirations of growing the company as far as personnel goes, and we're still trying all kinds of.
Well, Saunders started though as a diesel engine company, right?
Yes.
Originally,
So the original company was in Mobile.
In Mobile,
okay,
commercial diesel engine work, tugboats, that kind of thing,
right?
And then they wanted to step into the yacht side, the recreational pleasure craft world, which is a completely different customer than your commercial customers. So then Yachtworks grew and we ended up selling off the diesel engine commercial side of the business.
Okay.
So now we are strictly.
But it's so impressive. I mean, you drive down and you see the canal, and then you see Saunders and these huge yachts.
Mega yachts.
Oh, wow.
But if you could, Lindsay, just take a little walk through the lot and see how they pull the boats out of the water and how it's all remote controlled.
Oh yeah, I'd love that.
It's like, whoa.
And the inside, the interior, like it's just impressive.
It doesn't get old. I mean, I've probably witnessed, gosh, I can't even count how many haul outs. That's what we call when we pull the boat out of the water. I have nothing to do with it. I'm just standing there
and taking video for your
video
reels,
and making the operator nervous because he knows I might catch him doing something crazy.
Right.
But it just never stops being impressive. The boats are big in the water, but once you pull them out of the water, they're humongous. Humongous.
I have a story, Lindsay. So when I helped Saunders do a lot of their video work and stuff, one of my main goals was I'd say, hey, Ashley, can we just take a quick look on this mega yacht just to see if we want that on video? And oh man, you think they're impressive on the outside. You should see some of the customized work that Saunders is doing on the inside. It'll far exceed your expectations. It's mahogany.
I love deep sea fish. Love it. And I'd love to go in the custom interiors. Like Viking, when I walk in, I'm thinking, wow, this is so much nicer than my house. It's just crazy.
So fun to have somebody that actually knows what that is too, what Viking is.
Do you, Ryan?
I do. I love Viking.
We work on a lot of Viking.
Yeah, so very impressive. I am so curious. I know that you have a lot of questions for Ashley, but can I want to start because this is so my wheelhouse.
It's your show. I'm just living in it.
Right. I mean, you had all the knowledge from the ESPN world, and then you went more smaller, size to get down here, and now you're back in the outdoors industry. I'm so curious how when you first got the job and you were the first one that they've ever had do marketing, they knew they needed it, but now here you are.
Right.
Like, how did you define your role, or was it already defined? I want to hear the journey of starting a new full-time marketing role at a company and where it is today.
So they had, kind of an outline of what they were looking for, what they felt like we needed to do to move the business forward. But I have really just figured it out along the way. I spent the first several years at Saunders convincing a lot of the management that we needed a marketing person. They did not understand why marketing was as valuable as it is. Not that, they were not, they were just used to, they do a good job. Customers talk about them. Customers come back.
Right.
It was about their reputation and not so much about
strategy.
Sure.
Yeah.
But we had built a bigger boatyard in anticipation of, it was kind of a, if you build it, they will come.
Okay.
The larger yachts that we were seeing in the area. So a part of the reason for bringing on a marketing person was to appeal to those larger boats, reach out into, more of a regional market, versus the small, very localized market that we were in at the time. And so we, of course, with social media, that has changed over the years. Digital marketing has changed, but the core of what they were already doing was getting in front of the customer. That is in person. That is the bread and butter of Saunders, and what makes us successful, and what brings boats to the yard is getting in front of them in person. So essentially, we had a handful of sport fishing tournaments that we would sponsor, and we had boat shows that we would attend, and I continued that. We've just added a lot of them.
And let's stick there for a second, because what's interesting that she is having to do is some of these tournaments that you're going into, it's not like you're just going to a tournament. You're having to set up tents, and they're full blown, what would you say? They're exhibit tents almost. They're
huge. Aren't they like 20 by 20 and sometimes much bigger?
Well, so for boat shows, yes. For tournaments, I usually have like a 10 by 10 pop up, but we have found success in having those on site with the branding, with our logo. But we also find that walking the crowd and walking from boat to boat is actually a lot more effective than standing in the tent. But we set up tents. I mean, we have, it depends on which tournament. Some of them were much more involved than the other ones, but the big one in Orange Beach every year, the Blue Marlin Grand Championship, we have a VIP section right behind the two Blue Marlin where they weigh in all the fish, and it's a big deal.
What was it a learning curve for you when you were, because I assume that when you first came on Saunders, were they going to tournaments as much, or were they doing quite as much at the tournaments?
So there weren't as many. There weren't as many. They were certainly going to them, but there weren't as many, and they weren't as big. So they didn't have as many boats fishing in the tournaments at that point.
Right.
And they have become much more of a production than they used to be. They televised some of them, and of course with social media, being able to go live and
really about the tournaments, I just want to stop there for the viewers that don't understand. Like, a lot of people don't understand golf tournaments, right? But when we're talking about these deep sea fishing tournaments, and one of the more popular ones, we have big game fishing clubs here in Baldwin County, Mobile, and Pensacola has a big one too. What are the top prizes? I just want you to tell people.
Is it cash?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it can be over $1 million in cash.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Yes, it is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And they have prizes for the first, second, and third place of each species, but also they have Calcutta, so they have side betting. And so you can win $500,000 at one tournament.
But it's so smart for you to be so actively involved there, because I'm assuming that's your niche of these people that own the boats that are participating in these large tournaments.
And you're doing a lot too. Like, are you doing a lot of print stuff? So whether it's handouts, flyers, brochures, to, I don't know, to apparel, to giveaveaways,
promotional items, all kinds of,
even the shirts
we can put our logo on. But now I am very careful about, speaking of putting your logo on things, to align the items that we put our logo on with our brand. And
Why is
that?
Is
more of a top, high end, top quality. So like we were talking about earlier, we get the more expensive huggers. We, get high quality t-shirts.
I love the ones with the magnets that go on your.
And why does that matter to the average viewer that's watching, like a small business owner who is trying to understand, why would you match your merch with your brand? Why do you think you're doing that? Like, is it because the yachts are so expensive and kind of more upscale and luxury that you're
absolutely, and you're trying to evoke a certain feeling from the person that's receiving it. So if I am a yacht owner and I'm being handed a very cheap T-shirt, and there's nothing wrong with that, but
it has its place.
It has its place. And so, and I'm very strategic about where we hand these things out. You know, we don't just mass produce a lot of items. We're very specific about what we produce and who we give it to. And you want to be careful about matching, you know, what does your brand say? What is the core of your brand? Who are you? And what story are you trying to tell? And you can match your promotional items and and any of your branding, to that, you know, to that feeling.
So let me pivot just a little bit though. Something else that you're having to do, which I know when I first met you, I don't think you were doing it quite as much, or maybe not to the point to what you're doing it now, is social media. Mm-hmm. Because I know that, you know, I used to do a lot of your videos, but now when I look at Facebook or Instagram or whatever, I think, are you doing the videos, the little video social media posts and stuff where you're showing the boats coming out of the water being worked on, or yeah.
And that was a learning, talking about a learning curve.
Right.
You know, social media was essentially just Facebook.
Right. And MySpace before that, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And so it was all mostly static photos. You just posted static photos. And it has evolved so much, as we all know. Anybody in the marketing world or anybody just a human that has social media, you know how much it's evolved, and it's so video dominant. You know, trying to put together reels, it's really been a learning curve, seeing what works, kind of A/B testing everything. And that has changed quite a bit since. I used to rely on, you know, Ryan and other vendors to produce all of our videos, and they still certainly have their place, but you find a lot of success in the more just, you know, everyday person taking their iPhone out.
So you're doing it on your iPhone. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you
and
can
how
do
do you edit
things.
it? What app are you using to edit?
I do some of it in app. So Instagram, I'll do a lot of those in app, but sometimes I use CapCut, just depending on, we have a TikTok channel and I post on the TikTok channel, but that is not where most of our clientele is.
Right.
They are so essentially our customer base is broken into the owner of the yacht, the captain of the yacht, the crew of the yacht. And then of course we have, you know, vendors and community members and other members of our audience, but those are the ones that we're marketing to the most. The captain's being the person that's going to make most of the decisions as far as service work goes.
Right.
So I'm trying to go where is the captain looking? How is he consuming media? So that is a big driver in how we make decisions about where we're putting our content.
I'm curious, what's the average age of a boat captain?
I would say between 35 and 55. Now we have some younger guys absolutely coming up. Most of your crew is going to be younger. And then most of your, you know, demographics for your yacht owners are, you know, and probably in their late 50s, early 60s. I mean, it takes a minute sometimes to get enough revenue to purchase a yacht.
So which social media channels are your like most successful to resonate with those captains?
So captains, well, Facebook and Instagram are kind of neck and neck.
Yeah.
Facebook, I feel like, has got more of the yacht owner on it, but they are all kind of pivoting to Instagram as well. And there are more people than you think on TikTok.
I agree with that.
And I was very hesitant. I was very resistant to TikTok because Lord knows we all need to be on social media more.
I know. I'm always on it for business, but sometimes personally weeks go by and I'm not looking. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you from personal experience that I will stay on TikTok far longer than I anticipated.
Swipe.
That dopamine hit, you know, it is wild. But so I feel like we have the most success on Facebook or Instagram. Again, like I said, it's kind of neck and neck. We have more video success on Instagram. But every now and then I'll have a sleeper video that'll just knock me out of the water with, you know, 800 views or 800 likes. And I'm like, oh, no, that is amazing.
Yeah, that is really amazing.
Thank you, Facebook.
And speaking of content, I saw a snippet of your content, but I'm curious because oftentimes I get asked by different business owners, I just run out of ideas. And I tell people, if you're an insurance agent, people don't want to hear about insurance all the time. And so how have you kept it so valuable to those people that are in your network to want to see your content? What has been your strategy there that you can share with us?
That's a good question. So I have to remember that So I see this content much more than anyone else does.
Sure.
So if something feels like, gosh, I have videoed a boat coming out of the water 82 million times, this cannot possibly be exciting for a viewer. It actually is, because it's still impressive every single time.
It may be their
happens.
first time.
And it may be their first time.
Right.
Exactly. You could be hitting somebody that has never looked at your stuff before. Or the last haul out video they saw was, 2 months ago, and they've seen other things that you've done. But it's not as repetitive to them as it is to me. And just, looking around at other brands, what are other brands in the industry doing? How are they touching their, audiences? What are their videos look like? I mean, it used to feel like you were copying, but now it's really just smart strategy to look at what other businesses are doing. And I'm not saying you replicate what they're doing.
Right. But you get inspired. What you like, what you don't like.
Absolutely. And you see what works. You see what is resonating with the audiences that are similar to yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great.
I mean, something else that you guys do that I think is just really cool is you will put on what's called like the Boatyard Bash. You're also having to put on events in the yard, in your own yard, at Saunders.
Yes.
And they're not little. We invited you.
One,
That's right. I invited you. You're having to do a whole nother kind of about face, if you will, on putting on a major event.
Why do you do that?
So the Boatyard Bash started out when we first built our yard in Gulf Shores. The business started, the Yachtworks side of the business started in Orange Beach, and we grew and wanted to build our own yard in Gulf Shores. And so the first Boatyard Bash was essentially to bring people out to this brand new facility that had not quite been built yet. They had finished the office building, but the rest of the boatyard was mostly just cement slabs. They had not finished that part of the facility yet. So it was bringing them out to say, hey, we're still here. We're still working on boats. This is the progress that we've made. And that was, I would say we probably had 150, maybe 200 people. That's generous for the first time we did this.
That's really good, though.
Fully catered bands.
But that was in the parking lot. That was when we didn't even have a boatyard yet. And so now I think we've topped out at like over 500 people inside the yard.
How did you do that? How did you bring so many your first event? Even though to you, that doesn't sound like a lot. That's a lot to the average business owner thinking, okay, I'm going to do a ribbon cutting, but is anybody going to show up?
I know. Well, offering people free dinner and drinks is a good motivator sometimes.
Yes.
And we were lucky enough to have a pretty substantial customer list, email addresses where we could send out, invitations. We sent them out via email and, hand printed invitations. And word of mouth. I mean, we just really hyped it up. And
are you collecting emails through like eBlast and stuff like that?
Yes.
Online newsletters?
Mm-hmm. And we also, and then any new customer, we capture their email address, with their consent, to send them email marketing too. But yeah, we do the Boatyard Bash, and then we do that at the same time as the Wharf Boat Show in Orange Beach. So I have a Boatyard Bash going on at literally the same time.
Things at the same time.
Two things, two huge things. And honestly, the only way that I pulled this off is that having that background at the Grand Hotel in event operations.
Okay.
Really helped me know how to run an event, and tie that into my marketing background. Otherwise, it's a big
events
undertaking.
Are big.
They are so big, and you don't have at Saunders we have I'm the only marketing person, so you have an event staff of full-time employees at Saunders who are not event people, and they're wonderful.
And you're like, I need you to do the rest,
please move this table over
mechanics
here.
And
I need you to be the bartender.
They are so over me by the end of it, but they're so wonderful, and they jump in and help every single time. But yeah, you're relying on people who don't do this for a living, and this is not they're really in their wheelhouse. And so,
my experience with Saunders and the employees there is it seems to be, and now I'm outside looking in, it seems to be a very close kind of relationship as far as on the outside looking in, the majority of employees always look happy and things like that. Is there anything that you're having to do internally? Do you do things for the employees? Do you do things that kind of bring you guys together, help morale?
We do. So we try every quarter to have an employee luncheon. We bring everybody together and feed them. And our CEO gives a speech about, kind of gives everybody an update on how the company's doing, some wins, some losses. And then we all sit together and share a meal, and that really seems to resonate with our staff. And then we have a Christmas party every year. We try to do different touches throughout the year to make them feel special and to bring us all together. But I think part of it too is there's such a deep camaraderie that's built upon the hard work that they do. Mm-hmm. This is really hard work. It's hot, it's dirty, it's very demanding. It's very specialized, and our customers are expecting. They have high expectations because oftentimes they are going to fish in a sport fishing tournament, and there's $500,000 on the line, and my engine's broken down, and you have got to come fix it immediately, and it is 1:00 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And we do that we go above and beyond for our customers, and so I feel like there's a bond that's built with these guys working together to accomplish this goal for this customer. That they get to be the heroes, and it's really cool.
And I'm glad you said that, because that's the reason why I asked that first question. Was because one of the things that Lindsay and I have always talked about is sometimes if you're going to provide the best marketing or branding for your company, sometimes it helps to start within, because your employees should be viewed as the heroes and not the zeros.
I think most of the time it should start there.
It should. And they're your boots on the ground. So if they're wearing your nice Saunders shirt out in public or in a different state or something, they have nothing but good things to say about Saunders and represent you guys well.
Right.
So that's the reason I was asking you about that.
Yeah.
Yep. And then let me, with all this being said, with you having to kind of grow the marketing and do the events and both internal and external.
You're wearing a lot of hats.
You're wearing a lot of hats. But of all of that, what's been kind of like the most difficult thing, or the biggest hurdle you've had to kind of overcome
or challenge?
I think managing it all is certainly a challenge. And then the learning curve that comes with all of this developing technology, social media landscape changing all the time.
Every day.
Just when you think you've got it under control, then it's, the algorithm throws a curveball at you and you're having to, start from scratch. And then, digital marketing, just navigating all these different mediums, and really continuing to know who your customer is, because your customer is changing. There's generational changes that are happening especially within our industry. And so, trying to stay on top of that, I think just juggling it all, because oftentimes it's all happening at the same time.
Exactly.
Right.
You've got a print ad that's due, and you've got a tournament you're leaving for in the morning, and you've got some other event next week, or an employee
that
event
you're ordering promotional items for, and you need them in for.
Yeah. Oh, and you got to post that reel. And so I think that is the most challenging part, because even if you have, even if you're very organized and scheduled, our boatyard does not run. We have a schedule, but things inevitably come up, and
life comes in the way.
Right. And so just being adaptable is a really big deal, and to being successful. Yeah.
And you did say something really important about your events, how you can have the prettiest setup in the world, but the most successful thing you do is actually get in the crowd and talk to people.
Right.
Would you like to speak a little more about that? Because oftentimes owners are a little intimidated to actually do that. So I would like to hear how you made that successful for you.
Well, people want to feel cared about. And if they're trusting you, especially in our service business, they're trusting you with their multi-million-dollar yacht, it means a lot to them that you care enough to get to know who they are.
Sure.
To get to know them and to go ask them, is there anything I can do for you? You may not have any work scheduled right now, but is there anything that is concerning you on your boat? Going in front of these customers all the time is critical for us. It is the bread and butter of how we earn business. And that's continuing to foster those relationships at these sport fishing tournaments, at the boat shows. Really in-person marketing is the biggest indicator of success for us. When we see that boat come in the basin, that's how I gauge my success, views are great and likes are great,
Right.
but did the boat come to the basin? Did we open a work order? And so oftentimes that comes on the heels of an in-person event.
Right.
Sure.
Right. Well, as we got to start wrapping up,
Oh, it's already
because
that
Courtney
time.
just gave us the time, the 30-minute cue. I can't believe it's already
that
been
was so
30
fast.
minutes. I
That
know.
was fast. I had so many more questions.
I'm going to give you a little surprise here.
But can I first say, do you know how John and I met?
On the back of a yacht. No.
We were at a.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was a mobile big game fishing tournament, and that's how we
Really?
met. Yes.
I just totally guessed.
Wow.
And I caught a tuna, and I
Wow.
placed third. All right, carry on.
Wow, that's amazing. All right, well, live and learn. I didn't.
Was
know
that the surprise?
No,
No.
Surprises for you, but I was surprised. Was she?
22 years later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Carry on, Ryan.
All right, so we're going to give you a little surprise bonus round, a
Okay.
little quick fire
Oh, boy.
kind of thing. All right. Favorite place on the water? Where do you like to go on the water?
I would say the lagoon, Little Lagoon in Gulf Shores.
Little Lagoon and Gulf Shores.
Okay.
All right.
A song that instantly puts you in a great mood.
Shake It Off by Taylor Swift.
Oh, that's a fun one. I know. I just
It's
did,
an
yeah.
oldie but a goodie. It will never get old to me.
What is a marketing trend that you secretly love or hate? Could be either one.
Social
both.
media trends, the TikTok trends.
The TikTok trends.
I have a love hate with them.
Yeah,
They look cute, but I can't get any of my people to do it.
Your go-to or app you cannot live without.
Ooh, that would be. I would have to say Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most memorable event that you have ever worked so far at Saunders?
At Saunders.
Is there anything that sticks out more than the other, like that event?
Our situation story.
I would, like, off the cuff, just say one of our boatyard bashes. I mean, those are the most eventful for me. I mean, or memorable for me because I'm so heavily involved in them.
And I think that's where I met you, the one and only time we've met in person. And didn't you have like a wig on or something? Like
No, that was John, the
That
owner.
was John. Oh, that was
The
our.
fabulous.
That was
owner
our.
had on.
that was so much.
That was our Woodstock inspired boatyard
Yes.
bash. Yeah,
Oh
he
my
really
gosh.
leaned into that costume.
He really leaned
It was
into it. Had a
awesome.
That
great
was
time.
so
It was
good.
awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Best piece of a career advice you've ever received.
To listen to everyone around you, listen to your coworkers, listen to your customers, just to be able to sit and listen and absorb the people around you, what they're saying.
That's good.
Because so often we are try to be so ready with an answer or ready to move on to the next thing that slowing down and listening to people, that seems to help me the most.
Cool.
That's good.
All right, last question. This will be the last one we ask. What is one word that sums up your approach to marketing?
Adaptability.
I think we've heard that recently
that's
on a
really
different
good.
podcast that we've shot.
No, I think-
Adaptability.
yeah, and she
Think
said it this
ad-
one too.
adaptability.
So.
That's a great one.
And one thing she said when she said we bring all the boats to the yard this whole entire time.
I know.
I keep doing the jingle and I can't stop. I think
Bring
that'd be
all-
a good tagline.
It would be. We bring all the boats to the
yard.
yard. I know. There it is. Inspiration.
Inspiration.
Next TikTok
I know.
trend. There we go.
We have to be careful with explicit language and explicit themes, though. We're very
is
try
that
to be very
explicit?
family friendly. Well,
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
You can make it, Fran.
That was funny, though.
G-rated. All right.
That was G-rated. Well, thanks so much for
Oh,
being on our podcast
for
today.
having me.
Yes,
This
we
was
really
great.
enjoyed it.
So,
Thank you.
I mean, we got to learn a lot of it, too, about
yeah.
there were some facts about you that I didn't know, and I've known you for 10 years. So, good for me. Yay.
Yes.
And one about Lindsay that I
And
didn't know.
think a lot of the viewers too, they get intimidated because they think I can't afford a whole, firm and I can't do everything myself. But you're very much proof that you do everything and you do it very well. So, good job.
All right. Well, thanks so much. And thank you guys, too, at home for watching this episode of the BrandProof Podcast interview. And if you don't mind, please give us a little like, subscribe, and comment down below. And let us know what you think of today's episode. Or if you've got any guest suggestions for either marketing or small business owners, entrepreneurs, let us know.
Exactly. So until next time,
Stay bold
stay you.
and get branded. We'll see you next time